Unheard of.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode, another week of Unheard of. You know who it is. You know who we are. You know what we do. I'm Arthur. I almost said I'm Jared as well. I'm two people today. Two people this week. You get Arthur and Jared in one person. No, I'm Arthur, and I got my co-host with me, Jared, here, and we have some other guests as well this week. It's going to be a special week for you guys. How is your week going this week, Jared?
Oh man, it's going pretty good, and I can't complain. Everybody's just been busy. We're getting ready to come down to old GA next weekend. See old Colt before he heads out.
Know what it is?
Been a busy week at work, but hey, it's just about every week now.
I feel you, man. My week is going pretty good, seeing as today, Sunday, August 29th, the fabled Kanye West Donda album has finally dropped. Finally came out, Jared.
Nice. Have you listened to it already?
Yes, I have. It is 26 tracks long, and it is, 26 tracks, and it's an hour and 48 minutes long, I think, hour 44, something like that. It's real long. It's real long. He's got some, the last song is like 11 minutes long. Yeah, it's insane. And then he was talking about on Instagram that his label just dropped the album without his approval. So I don't know if they're gonna take it back down or not. It's a whole thing. With dealing with Kanye West, it's a whole thing. But I made sure I listened to it a couple.
Yay now.
Yeah. Well, is it official? It's official.
Nah, he filed that name change to just no Kanye, no West, just Yay.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, more power to him. Well, yay. Excuse me.
Yay for the album coming out.
Dealing with Yay, it's you never know what you're gonna get. And I'm pretty happy with the album. It sounds good. There's some great songs on there. Yeah, I mean, he's still doing his whole like Christian type of stuff. Like, I mean, even though he has a lot of just like rappers on there, but he just like censored out all their cuss words and stuff like that. So like it's just a whole bunch of like blank spaces and cuss words and stuff. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's a good album, man. I think he has like 33 guests on this album. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a big old thing, But now that we gotten that out of the way, we got a good show lined up for you guys this week. We got our guests on. First guest, we got Colton Evans. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. You know how it is. 3-day weekend.
I got you. And we also have probably Unheard of's biggest fan, good friend of the show. He's probably, I don't know how many episodes he's been on, but he's probably been on the most. We got that boy, Drew Nasty.
The creator of the Unheard of fan page too. You always seem to leave that title out.
Is that page still going strong? Y'all still talking about us in there?
We about nine members going. I think the last 6 or 7 posts on that Facebook page has been by me, and no, there's no comments, no likes. So I'm trying to keep the forward momentum going, but it's a little difficult.
Yeah, man, we gotta build that community up, man.
You need a market manager. Hunter could do that for me.
Hunter could do that for me.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys for the past couple of weeks. It's just been me and Jared on the show, but we just decided to spice it up this week. Put 2 more people in here. We're gonna have some fun this week.
That's true.
I guess we, without further ado, we can jump right into the news. We got big news out of Marvel Disney. We got a new Spider-Man trailer. I don't know if you guys can tell from Colton's background. I mean, it looks like he's pretty excited about this.
And J-Ray's shirt.
Yeah, true. New Spider-Man trailer. Well, actually, first Spider-Man trailer. This is the first bit of footage we're seeing from the movie that's coming out in it's almost September, in 3 months.
Yeah, and fun fact for the fans, this is actually going to be a 2-parter episode. we're gonna break this up for you, and it's gonna break the span of 2 weeks. So these boys aren't just gonna be on this week's episode; they're also gonna be on next week's episode. So
Whoa!
there you go. Now back
I'm
to
surprised.
Spider-Man news, talking
This is
with
just like the joke from the first episode, except it's the other way around. I get to be in more of the episode.
yeah, and
Oh, this ain't it.
talking
more?
with these boys, how'd y'all feel about the Spider-Man trailer?
I loved it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was they're teasing something big. I mean, I feel like the stuff they're showing us with Doctor Strange and everything, like that's not gonna be the half of it. You know, I mean, maybe it's just me being hopeful, but I feel like they have big plans for this movie. You know, like yeah, I feel like they're gonna do something monumental. I mean, I know everybody, we've all have had this notion that the previous two people who played Spider-Man are gonna also be in the movie, which they probably will. That might be the big thing, maybe that I'm hoping for, that we already know about. But I don't know. I feel like they're gonna be pushing the boundaries with this one.
Dude, I don't think there's any way we get that cut at the end of the trailer with Alfred Molina's Doc-Ock saying "Hello, Peter," and it's him talking to Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
Yeah, that was yeah.
He's talking to Tobey Maguire, man.
A lot of people are saying when he's wearing that suit, that literally is the same exact suit that Tobey wore in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
That's just Tom Holland's face deep faked on Tobey Maguire.
Well, it's definitely Tom Holland's body, because Tobey
I don't
Maguire
know.
isn't that like slim or skin,
Well,
that small.
Marvel likes to edit their trailers, so
Yeah.
I mean, who knows that they could have just done another shot with Tom Holland and just put that in the trailer.
Well, Marvel has a history of tricking us with trailers. They do it all the time. There's shots that are in the trailer that are totally different in the movies. But I mean, hey, to me, I think we got a Sinister Six movie on our hands, man. Bringing back villains from these other films, and I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still going to be the main one. We're probably going to get like a minute cameo of the other two guys if we get that.
yeah, they'll probably show up for about 15, 20 minutes near the end of the film is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, maybe.
One thing that I didn't really think about in the Disney Marvel Spider-Man franchise is, I mean, Vulture literally knew who Spider-Man was before everybody else knew who Spider-Man is. Are we gonna see Vulture again in this movie?
Awesome.
Maybe.
I mean, if they're gonna
It's in the
pull
Morbius
out
movie.
a bunch of villains, I mean, why not keep with this Spider-Man's like OG villain with Vulture,
I think they are. Everybody keeps teasing that William Dafoe's Green Goblin is going to be the main villain of the film. And I think we're just going to get a glimpse of all these other villains on the side. Like, because even Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to look different than what he was in the Andrew Garfield films. He's obviously not the blue guy anymore. He's going to be the green and gold, like kind of like the comics a little bit.
Yeah, more classic.
Yeah, I didn't know they were going to change how he looked. How he looks.
Well, there's Yellow Lightning in the trailer, and then
That's
those
supposed to be
leaked
Sandman
images
in the trailer too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
it's
leaked
supposed to be
images of Jamie
Sandman.
Foxx show him in like a green jacket with gold lining, which is similar to like his comic outfit, and he's not all blue in that picture. So I assume that we're gonna get a more accurate version of Electro.
Okay. But I mean, I just hope they don't go. I mean, and I don't think they will, because I mean, Disney Marvel has had. I keep calling them Disney Marvel. I think I'm gonna call them Disney Marvel from now on, like, because I mean, Sony still does their Marvel stuff too and stuff like that. So, I'm just gonna call them Disney Marvel.
Dude,
Anyways,
I think
Disney Marvel is good.
Oh, go ahead.
They have a good track record with these Spider-Man movies. So I don't know. Even with all these villains, I don't think they'll mess it up, but they still possibly could.
I don't think they will, and here's why. It'd be something if it was Sony trying to build a Sinister Six like they were before. Basically,
Yeah.
how the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was an epic fail because of them trying to do too much in one movie. I think now we've got a Sinister Six film where, because of them pulling the villains from different universes, we already know all these characters. So all the villains they're pulling in are already established people in our minds, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan and watched all the old films. So to me, I don't think they're going to mess it up. We're probably not going to see not going to be as much screen time as people would probably like of the old villains. But
Yeah.
that's just because that's the way it should be. You got to make room for one main villain.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, of course, I don't know the specifics of what's going to happen in this movie, but I would want Tom Holland's Vulture to kind of orchestrate all these multiversal villains to come after him. You know what I'm saying? And him just kind of taking them on one by one, and then like maybe at the end, him fighting maybe like 3 of them, maybe 2 of them, and then the other 2 guys, the other 2 Spider-Men helping them out.
I think it's gonna be a lot like the Spider-Man game, where that Spider-Man was getting beat up by all the Sinister Six, like at the very beginning, and then
his ass.
And then all you're gonna hear is Toby's music mixed with Andrew Garfield's music, and they're just gonna swing in. It's gonna be amazing.
Dude, overall, people are talking about, oh, well, that Doctor Strange seems different. Like, why would he do that spell after he's been so calculated in his movie and the Avengers films? I'm like, are y'all talking about the same Doctor Strange? Because he's pretty cocky in the MCU. Like,
yeah, that's like right with his wheelhouse. That's how he acts.
Yeah, like I feel like if he thinks he could do that spell, he's gonna do it.
I mean, he literally was
now.
He was literally texting and driving in Doctor Strange and got into an accident and like nearly killed himself. And I mean, he stole that book from the library in the movie. He used the Tom Stone. Like, that man is reckless.
Yeah,
that man is reckless.
The fact that he basically had the sole hand in telling Tony Stark that he had to kill himself in order to save everybody makes probably boost his ego a little bit, thinking that he helped the 1 in like 14 million timelines.
Yeah. Actually, Drew, what do you think about all this? I mean, you haven't said much yet.
I'm just trying to take it all in.
That's what she said.
Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man. So
OG.
even if he's only a 5, 10, 15-minute cameo, just visually seeing him play any role in this movie is enough for me.
I hope
he makes a sacrifice. Like,
if we're just watching like a bridge fight and doc-ock comes through, and then all of a sudden Doctor Strange's portal, you see that portal, and then Tobey Maguire like walks through like a bearded Spider-Man who's been through it over the past 20 years.
No, bump that, dude. If he don't walk through with that black suit dancing, dude, then I'm gonna walk out of the theater, dude.
Dude, if he just walks through and he like takes one look at the screen, I'm probably gonna start crying.
He walks in, he looks at the screen and goes, "It's pizza time."
Yeah.
Pizza time.
Yeah, but I'm really excited. I'm very glad they finally showed us the trailer. And also, did you guys see that? Did y'all see that video of this kind of related, but still related because it's the cast? Did y'all see that video of them on some late night talk show? And Tom Holland is telling these stories, and Zendaya sitting right beside him, and like he's not even really being that funny, but like she is like absolutely laughing her ass off, like at all his jokes, and everybody's like, "Oh, Zendaya got it bad for Tom Holland." I mean, because obviously, I guess they're still dating, or I guess.
Hey.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an old clip as well or not, but yeah, it went viral, and like it's just funny.
definitely an old clip. None of them are like promoing together right now because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
But man, y'all remember if you're Toby fans, y'all remember that scene in Spider-Man 2 where he's basically thinking about why he has to become Spider-Man again because the city is just in turmoil, and he's like, am I not supposed to have what I want, what I
It
need?
cracks me up.
Like when if he doesn't start saying something like that in this movie, it ain't gonna be worth it.
Am I gonna have to do this again? Is this what I want? This
His
is what
last
they
words will
need.
be, "With great power."
Dude, what if Sony just pulled like a killer move and just killed them both off right then and there, like in the movie? Andrew Garfield's
Yeah.
Spidey and Tobey Maguire's.
That Andrew Garfield's
not,
Spidey
man?
walks through and immediately gets killed, like immediately.
I mean, hey, he was so
Andrew
reckless with
Garfield is
Gwen
like,
Stacy.
oh man, I got y'all here to help, and then like he literally
Boom.
gets electrocuted to death by Electro.
Man. But yeah, I think for people saying that, you saw all these memes like, oh, Spider-Man isn't going to live up to his expectations. And then the expectations is like everything from the multiverse. And then you see that trailer, you're like, hey, it might live up to expectations.
Yo,
They literally
yeah.
revealed like so much during that trailer. I figured they wouldn't reveal like nothing. It'd like be the most shallow scenes in a trailer ever, but they literally revealed everything.
Well, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I did catch a glimpse of that leak before the actual thing premiered. And I was like, there's no way this.
But I didn't watch it.
Well, I was like, there's no way this footage is fake. I mean, obviously it was like blurry and everything. You couldn't see much at all, but I'm like, there's no way these voices and everything are fake. So I was looking forward to the real thing being released as soon as that leak popped up finally.
I mean, didn't it come out the day after it leaked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were preparing to release that trailer at CinemaCon in some other country.
Yeah, they weren't going to release it to the public though. So thank God for the internet leaking it out.
Look, in the trailer, there's a couple of clips shown of what seems to be Spider-Man on a subway car. Do you think that in the movie they're going to relive like the iconic scene with Doc-Ock and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man where he slows it down?
I don't know,
because they showed that subway train about 2 or 3 times in the
so.
trailer.
That scene in the trailer though looks so weird.
Strong Easter egg though. I think it just might be a strong Easter egg.
I just know that scene in the trailer looks so weird because the backdrop of the subway almost looks like the Western desert, which is really strange. So, I mean, of course, that's what the movie kind of leads into with all this multiverse stuff.
But also with that scene,
Doctor Strange is literally in it, Jared. So
with that scene though, Doctor Strange is literally like, I don't know if y'all have seen the trailers for the What If TV show, but there's literally a Doctor Strange that's supposed to be a variant in the What If TV show where he's like wearing dark clothes.
Yeah.
And that's how Doctor Strange looks in that scene in particular.
So I noticed in that scene he didn't have his cape.
It could be a variant Doctor Strange because of the whole multiverse breaking. But I don't know if that would be going too far for the Spider-Man movie. If that was the Doctor Strange sequel, I could be like, okay. But for this movie in particular, I'm not sure. But he is wearing all black clothing, though.
I think we'll get the same version of Doctor Strange throughout the entire film, just because the film has to focus on Spider-Man and to change up Doctor Strange. Like, if anything, it would be like a post-reveal like they did with the Nick Fury bullcrap at the end of Far From Home. Because I think we're going to get the same version of Doctor Strange throughout the entire film.
Yeah, and you guys want to know what I thought about?
Colin, you're looking confused. You don't remember what I'm talking about with Far From Home?
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about I Heard the Baby.
Oh yeah, he's up there screaming.
What I just thought about, and I mean, I hopefully this doesn't happen, but knowing Marvel, they would do this. Instead of actually having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back to play their respective Spider-Man character, what if they're both like leaders of a Spider-Man fan club?
Oh, that'd be a slap in the face.
And how everybody knows that Tom Holland, that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, they're like, no, we're all Spider-Man, and then like they put on costumes and they look like their own costumes and everything, but they're not actually.
Dude,
they don't actually have any powers. I thought that would be pretty funny.
if they're all in the movie, if Andrew Garfield and Toby are both in the movie, and we don't get a scene of them all pointing at each other in the Spider-Man costumes,
Okay,
just like the meme
too.
and how they did it in the Spider-Verse film for the animation, man, that would be a total letdown.
There's more evidence that they're in the movie because recently, like the other day, like there was supposedly like leaks set photos of Andrew Garfield on set of Spider-Man No Way Home, and Sony copyrighted it.
Wow.
They don't copyright stuff that ain't real most of the time. So
yeah, Sony's pretty coy with Spider-Man too. So I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. All I gotta say is I'm pretty excited. I think it is gonna be that's a film that since it broke the in-game record for trailer views, you might as well think, okay, hey, maybe we got a film that everybody's finally gonna come back to the theaters for.
I was just about to ask, do you think that this is going to break the seal for people going to movies and not watching it at home and things like that? If there ever was a movie to get people back in the movie theater, it's got to be this movie, right?
Yeah, this one's obviously not going to leak online because it's not going to be streaming anywhere. So there's not going to be a digital copy. Like if you want to see this one, you're going to have to go to the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but does it do over a B? Like the last one did.
Probably not because of COVID. $1 billion.
Over a billion.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I would say no because of COVID.
Yeah. Pre-COVID, it definitely
without COVID, it'll probably go 2 billion. Honestly, without COVID.
Oh yeah, probably yeah. Especially once word got out that you know the other guys are in it. Like if they're back in it to like regular capacity, like Spider-Man capacity is 3. The past 2 Spider-Man and the Spider-Man or the movie. Yeah, that would definitely generate some buzz and get that to sell higher. But who knows? I mean, it might do $1 billion again.
If they can get more of a hold on the Delta variant, people can get more secure going to the theaters by then, which is a couple months away. So it's possible.
Well, around that time is when people should be getting their booster shots and things like that. So
yeah,
it's possible.
But look, I was going to say in the trailer, you see like Otto Octavius, like he's right there. You see him. The only kind of glimpse you get of the Green Goblin is him laughing and throwing a grenade, but you don't actually see William Dafoe. What if they throw you a little curveball and it's James Franco's as Green Goblin?
No,
I mean I don't think they do that. Isn't James Franco like
that's what I was
like a
say.
huge POS? So he's like not like people don't even do movies with him anymore.
Yeah,
he's dealing with a lot of stuff off screen right now, like sexual allegations and stuff like that. So they're not gonna put him in it.
I mean, even Seth Rogen says he doesn't work with James Franco anymore. So
which is like his best friend.
And they're boys. So
and Colton, the image you're referring to is actually got both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in their Spider-Man costumes on set.
Where at?
Like together. I'll tell y'all
what
it was copyrighted.
I've never seen that.
Well, yeah, apparently it's just a leaked image. I'll tell you what, I'll send one to all you boys.
And if you're sending me the one I'm thinking, some people said that one was Photoshop.
It might be.
But the one I'm talking about said it was just Andrew Garfield, and Sony got it off the internet.
Shoot, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That picture's a little it's a little too blurry for me.
I see this one. This is the one that people said it was Photoshop, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna take that one with a grain of salt.
Yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, it's almost confirmed that they're in it. I mean, I'm expecting them to show up.
Also, why wouldn't they tell us that they're in the movie or not? Like, why does it have to be that big of a surprise?
I think they just want it to be like. I think they just want it to just be a simple surprise, like for the fans when they get in the theaters and like.
Well, you know how basically.
But I mean, it's so hard to hide such a big secret like that. Like it's so
Especially
hard.
when it's a huge film, you bring all these stars together. Like, I mean, dang, how many theories were we getting of Endgame? You know, I'm not sure if any of them actually spoiled Iron Man dying the way he did, but that's a reason why you want to keep stuff under wraps and not spoil secrets, so like you can actually enjoy the film when you go see it.
But though it would be really smart with this COVID world and how the theaters are doing right now for like the final trailer before the movie releases is to have Andrew and Toby show up at the end of the trailer. Because in the COVID world, you need every bit of money you can get going to the theaters.
I don't think they got anything to worry about making money with this film. This film is going to make money.
Yeah, I think
mean,
Yeah,
even if they
make
keep
money.
it, even if they keep it in theaters longer just to make money, it's gonna make money.
yeah, it's going to make money.
Next question. Is this gonna be the greatest MCU movie of all time?
I don't know,
It
man.
has potential to be.
Trying to call it early.
Hey man, Winter Soldier is very hard to beat, man. That was such a good film, top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Winter Soldier is really good.
You're not a fan of Iron Man 2? I like that movie a lot.
I know you're kidding.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe I don't know.
Iron Man 3 is pretty good too. A lot of people give it flack, but I like that film.
A lot of people give it flack because Robert Downey Jr. is like hardly in the suit like at all during the film.
That's kind of the point, man. Like, so
No,
basically,
I like it. I'm just saying that's why a lot of people give it flack.
like basically,
Do
you
you
know
got-
how in Thor Ragnarok, how he basically loses his hammer. I like the movies where they lose their main abilities and have to actually think for themselves and do other things.
Yeah, but he loses hammer. But what does his dad say? He's not the god of hammers, dog.
You're not the god of hammers.
Yeah, yeah. But for the
He's
other
all
two
God
movies
of
and two
hammers.
Avengers films, we thought he was just the god of hammers because that's all we saw
I
mostly.
mean, he literally fights Hulk using his powers. He just doesn't have an hammer.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I said that's why I liked the movie because
point
it
of
did
that
something different. Like basically, you
Yes.
took away what we know him for, which is wielding that hammer around all the time, and then you do something totally different with him.
I feel like the most different part was his haircut, bro.
Hey,
Do you guys think with them using the multiverse a lot in this movie and the relationship that Peter had, or that Spider-Man had with Iron Man, is there a chance that the old Robert Downey Jr. might don the suit one more time for this movie?
no,
It's too early. He'll do it again eventually
there's
as like a
Yeah.
different version of Iron Man from another universe, but it's too early. He'll probably do it in about 5 to
dude.
8 years.
Well, there's no
This
way
is
he
old
does it in
as
this
dirt
film.
by then, man.
He doesn't. They don't have the money to get him for this film. As many of the old actors as they're bringing in, Robert Downey Jr. brings a price tag of like $30 million alone for the film's budget.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. This might seem like a hot take. I'll probably be fine if I never see Robert Downey Jr. play Iron Man again.
No, I'm good too. I think the
I
way
would
they
be
ended
down.
the story
I'm
is perfect.
perfectly fine with that. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've only seen about half of Iron Man 2, and I haven't seen any of Iron Man 3. So
Well, you're a fool
Iron
for
Man's
that
not
one.
Iron Man's
3's a good
not my
Christmas movie,
favorite.
man.
Iron Man 3 is
Guy's a phony.
Iron Man is
This guy's a
not my
phony.
favorite MCU character, man. I've seen
This
literally
guy.
every
You're breaking
other
Colton's hard.
Marvel
You're breaking
movie
Colton's
except for
heart.
those 2 Iron Man movies.
So, as far as films go, what would you guys say is your favorite MCU film so far? Colton's is obviously Winter Soldier. He's basically just said it.
I said it's the
Yeah.
best one. I didn't say it's my favorite.
Well, best. So what's your favorite then? Because you said it was the best one.
Best doesn't always equal favorite.
It's like
That's
by
true.
far the best film.
Then
And
what
then-
is your favorite one?
It could be Shang-Chi. I don't know. I haven't seen it
Oh
yet.
my God.
He said so far.
Movies
he
you've
didn't-
seen.
God. Dang.
All right, come back to me.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, I'll start. Okay, I agree with Colton saying that Winter Soldier was the best. I feel like it I don't know, it told a good story, and highly invested in seeing, you know, Captain America be reunited with his friend again. But my favorite one, I feel like I've talked about this on the show. My favorite one is Black Panther. Yeah, my favorite one.
It's a good movie. Solid.
What about you, Drew?
Mine's a toss-up between Civil War and Infinity War.
Dude,
I think
Infinity War has the
think-
best action in any MCU film.
But if you held if I was on my deathbed and I had a deathbed confession, I would probably say Civil War. But
That's your deathbed confession.
This is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that's a deathbed confession.
Because those are probably my
Remind me
two
not to be at your
favorites.
deathbed.
Those are probably the exact same two favorites I have because you can watch those movies at any time and just enjoy the heck out of them. Like, I really like Infinity War.
I
really like
just don't
Infinity War,
think-
but I probably like Civil War a little better too.
I just don't think their big ensemble movies are, you know, better than just like the single superhero film, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
but also
That's why I say Civil War too, because it's mostly still focused on Captain America. It just kind of brings those other characters in on the side.
Yeah, but it's still an ensemble movie. Like,
Yeah. What about you, Colt?
Um,
You got the last opinion on this one here?
Hey man, mine would have to be a really hard toss-up between Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Thor: Ragnarok.
That's also an excellent movie that you can just go back and rewatch anytime. Thor Ragnarok is hilarious, man.
Yeah, and I feel like third, if I could have a little third spot, it would be Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Dude,
Man, I love that movie instantly as soon as I saw it.
The final battle in Doctor Strange is just so hilarious because he's basically just annoying Dormammu to death.
Yes.
Like, hey, how many times can you kill me? Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
So it's a good one.
I feel like my future favorite will either be Spider-Man: No Way Home or Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder is probably gonna be wild. They say Taika Waititi got like full control on that movie. So
Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
Have they already finished filming that one?
Yeah. It's done.
When's it coming out?
I think next year.
Huh.
It finished over the summer.
When's the next Ant-Man movie coming out?
Next year, 2023.
I think they just started filming, or like they're about to start filming.
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty close.
So yeah, boys, I gotta tell you, I'm glad we talked about Spider-Man. We all been waiting for this trailer for a long time. And for our next topic, we're gonna get into a little bit of modern day stuff, and we're gonna bring up what Drew has right behind himself on his background, the return of a very special fellow named CM Punk. And yeah, we're gonna talk about some wrestling. So
okay.
All right, so as we mentioned, we're going to discuss recording. However, fading over the main. Did I say recording? I meant to say wrestling.
You did say recording.
We're going to discuss wrestling, and as we've faded into this transition, the main bed. Oh, here he comes! Look at your screen, folks. Coming from left center stage, Drew Nasty.
Coming from CM Punk's groin.
Hey,
this man was literally birthed from CM Punk's crotch, dude.
It's true. And we got you on the recording, Drew. We announced you as if you were coming in to the stage, coming from the stage left. Hey, man. So you're probably the biggest wrestling fan on here nowadays. So what do you got to think about CM Punk finally returning?
2,766 days since Punk abruptly walked out on Monday Night Raw, got into a physical altercation with Vince McMahon, told Triple H to go F yourself. This is a PG show. He left. This show right here. Well, PG-13.
I mean, I feel
you can say
I feel like
you can say
we're,
you can say
we're at
bitch and
least a
shit. You can say like bitch and
PG-13.
shit and all that stuff, but we're gonna leave the MF and the GD and all these things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he leaves professional wrestling over creative differences because at the time The Rock was wanting to wrestle, and for 3 straight years, him and John Cena main evented WrestleMania. Well, it might have been 2 years, 2 or 3. Punk at the time sold the most merchandise, his T-shirts, collective cups, things like that. His face. He was the number 1 seller. He was the best wrestler as far as working in the ring, on the microphone, and he never got the main event of WrestleMania. And finally, in his words, he was concussed. He had staph infection, and the doctors for WWE dismissed it.
I'm sorry. Colin, why was staph infection just like the most nastiest thing you've ever heard?
Because I've had it twice.
Oh, dang! I'm so sorry, guys. We really couldn't listen to that, so we couldn't listen to that, and we had to mute him there because we don't want to hear about that staph infection crap. It's okay, Drew. Now you can continue.
So he leaves WWE and he goes and has we'll just say a very uneventful UFC career. I think he had 3 UFC matches, and I think he went 0-3. He got his ass kicked in every one of them. And I think it was around 2019, Fox bought Friday Night SmackDown, or they had a TV deal with WWE. And CM Punk, they had this talk show on there called Backstage Talking Smack. And CM Punk come on there, and everybody was like, oh my Lord, CM Punk signed with the WWE. And he took to Twitter and was like, pump your brakes, people. I ain't talked to nobody in the WWE. I'm with Fox. I don't have nothing to do with WWE. I can come on the air and talk about what a piece of shit Vince McMahon is. I don't answer to him. I answer to Fox. Well, that show wound up drawing like 400,000 viewers because it was 11 o'clock on a Friday night. Nobody's watching wrestling stuff at 11 o'clock on a Friday. So there's a wrestling company by the name of All Elite Wrestling. He signed there a month or so ago. They were trying to find the right place for him to come and to make his debut. Just so happened that their Monday Night Raw, their version of that is called Wednesday Night Dynamite. And it took place in CM Punk's hometown of Chicago at the United Center. He made his debut. They announced beforehand that he had signed with them. They had teased that he was going to be there, but let's be honest.
They had ice cream they sold, or they gave to everybody. It was CM Punk ice cream when they were walking through.
Ice cream. Yeah. So if you haven't watched it on YouTube, even if you're not a wrestling fan, the crowd's reaction because his entrance has been Cult of Personality by Living Color. That's what he's walked up to since like 2012. But WWE didn't own the rights to that music, so he was still able to use it in a different promotion. When that hit and that Chicago crowd knew that it was him, it kicked the show off. The place went bananas, and there he is right there.
True. I actually watched that video. The crowd is
I did too.
It's pretty good.
Even if you're not a wrestling fan,
you can see one fan in particular crying his eyes
bawling his eyes out. Actually, my in-laws have moved in with me and Brandon and Haley and their little girl have lived with us for about 3 weeks. So that night I was watching TV, and when his music hit, I knew what was happening. But I was jumping. You can picture a 300-pound healthy man with a goatee jumping up and down in front of the TV like he was 10 or 11 years old again. It was a tearjerker. And he's actually having a match next Saturday at their first pay-per-view called All Out. He's having a match next Saturday. His first wrestling match in 13 or 7 years.
Well, you just answered one of my questions. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask if he has even wrestled yet. I mean, other than that, I've seen clips of him like talking on the mic and everything. I haven't seen anything of him back in action yet.
it's actually funny because WWE doesn't like to see they don't call their product pro wrestling. Even they call themselves sports entertainment, even though wrestling is in World Wrestling Entertainment. Vince McMahon has actually banned the commentators and wrestlers from calling themselves pro wrestlers. So CM Punk kind of took a little dig at them when he come back to All Elite. He said that in August of 2005, he was at a promotion called Ring of Honor and left there to go to WWE. And he said, in August of 2005, I left pro wrestling. In August of 2021, I'm back. So he threw a little
2005, bro.
Yeah,
that's because that's the reference to WWE calling themselves sports entertainment. Because
they don't like to call it wrestling; they call it sports entertainment.
Yeah.
And then my second question is, so AEW they have 2 shows on TV now?
Yeah, they just debuted a show. I think I might have said CM Punk came on Dynamite, but he didn't. He come on.
Was it Rampage?
He come on Rampage. I beg your pardon.
Rampage, yeah.
For, Dynamite is a 2-hour wrestling show on Wednesday. That's when they do their storylines. That's when the wrestlers get to go on camera, do promos, things like that. It's a 2-hour show. It's just like Raw or SmackDown. The Friday night show that they have is literally from 10 to 11, and it's more of an old school style of wrestling. It's only an hour. They don't really do a lot of promos. It's just straight wrestling for an hour, 4 or 5 matches. That was the episode that he come on because it was in Chicago. I said Dynamite, but I meant Rampage. But that's not normally what they do. Normally what they do, like I said, they'll come on, the announcers will welcome the audience or whatever. They'll do 2, 3, 4 matches for an hour, and then they turn it off. It just so happened to be that 30 minutes of an hour show was dedicated to him, but it didn't matter. He could have went on for an hour and talked, but it didn't matter.
So, I got to tell you, as somebody who doesn't really watch wrestling anymore,
same.
I think that as soon as WWE made the move to go PG, everything kind of went to crap. Is AEW completely a better product where they could probably take the reins from WWE in the future?
Well, WWE is so far and beyond more profitable. It's $1 billion company. I mean, All Elite Wrestling, they've been around almost 2 years. 2 years. I don't think there's ever going to be a day where WWE isn't number one as far as money and things like that. Now, the product that they put on camera, in my opinion, All Elite Wrestling's got them beat already because they've gotten younger talent, but they've also got veteran people around that people can, remember. Oh, I remember watching him growing up, like things like that, stuff like that. They're ran by Turner, which is the same company that owned WCW back in the day in the 90s. Ted Turner said, "We will overthrow Vince McMahon and the WWE," and that sparked the Monday Night Wars. But we all know how that turned out. Vince McMahon bought that company from them. So the thing about it is I hate to use Dan Quinn because I really hate Dan Quinn, but iron sharpens iron. Like WWE is at their best when they have competition. When it's just them, and that's the only thing you have to watch if you're a wrestling fan, you just kind of got to suck it up and say, this sucks, but what else am I going to watch? I mean, WWE is going to benefit good and bad from All Elite, just like All Elite's going to benefit good and bad from them. It's going to give them competition. You already see it. I mean, WWE normally don't do edgy promos. They just tend to stay away since they're a PG show. So they tend to they'll say bitch every once in a while, and the crowd's like, oh my God, she said bitch. But Roman Reigns and John Cena had a very, very edgy promo a couple of weeks ago that talked about Roman Reigns. John Cena was engaged to this wrestler in real life named Nikki Bella, and they got split up and all that. And Roman Reigns said missionary wasn't good enough to keep Nikki Bella happy, or something like that. Like he made a reference to John sexually not being able to keep her happy. And then there's a wrestler that Roman Reigns was in a tag team with, but he left to go to All Elite. And there's just one thing in wrestling you don't do. You don't like publicly on camera acknowledge the other company like by name. And John Cena did that on Friday Night SmackDown a couple of weeks ago. So, like I said, it's definitely they're going to push each other. So,
yeah, I saw they brought Cena back for like a Summer Slam angle with Roman Reigns.
And
my thing about WWE is I hate that. I mean, I don't watch it anymore anyway. So I mean, I guess this isn't a legitimate complaint coming from me because I don't. Like I said, I'm not a big fan anymore. But I hate the fact that they bring back these huge stars that were huge stars in their day. I mean, they're still going to be huge stars recognized, in WWE. But like they only bring them back for a pay-per-view, and then more often than not, those big stars lose the match in that pay-per-view just so they can make their appearance, get their money, and then leave again.
Well, it's also about them trying to help their younger wrestlers and put them over, but
that's all it is.
Like
That's
literally, they bring John Cena back every couple of years just so he can keep losing to Roman Reigns in hopes that Roman Reigns will become a fan favorite, but he never will probably.
Well, there's a reason I thought
Roman Reigns was a fan favorite.
He is a fan favorite. He's a fan favorite, but I mean, they brought back John Cena because there was rumors circulating that CM Punk around that same time was going to be making his debut. So they brought John Cena back as sort of for people to go, man, I heard John Cena was going to be on Friday Night SmackDown tonight. Like, I should probably watch that. They've done it literally because that's how big of an impact he has coming back to wrestling. Talking about CM Punk.
I'd rather watch John Cena than CM Punk come back any day. Which I love both.
There was 2 years where The Rock
Cena's going to come back or CM Punk's going to come back.
Talking over each other.
I'm going to watch John Cena come back.
I don't know. I just feel like CM Punk coming back and being in AEW is different than what the WWE tries to do when they bring their stars back. I feel like CM Punk is gonna hopefully be here for the long haul, kind of like Christian, right? He's in AEW.
Yeah, he's really young. Mm-hmm.
I would say, I mean, he's a big star. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, that's a buzz name. You know, I feel like you bring him up a lot and you evoke nostalgia. So I mean, I feel like him coming back will be kind of like the same as that, and then like they're gonna be there to stay. Instead of like The Rock coming back or John Cena coming back or something like that. Just like.
I believe, because I listen I'm as big of a fan as y'all are for like Marvel and things like that. Is how big of a fan I am for wrestling. So I listen to like wrestling podcasts.
Pump breaks. I can probably say that me, Jared, and Arthur are probably still huge fans of wrestling. We just don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, well, you just said you'd rather see John Cena over CM Punk, so that tells me everything I need to know about your opinion of professional wrestling.
Yeah, I stand by it. I like CM Punk too, but I'd still rather watch John Cena because John Cena was my favorite growing up. So I think that CM Punk signed. It's over a course of years, so it's not necessarily. It's not years. It's over matches. I think he signed 13 or 14 matches. I think that's how many he signed to AEW for. Now, how long that'll be? I mean, he could wrestle for 13 straight weeks on Wednesday night. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to give him away for free. Like, you're going to have to pay for it. So it's probably a 3 or 4 year deal. Whereas somebody like The Rock or John Cena literally come back, fought Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And he's not going to come back until WrestleMania. He's not going to come back until WrestleMania. And the reason that is because next year's WrestleMania is at AT&T Stadium. 101,000 tickets they got to sell. There's already been a name confirmed for next year's WrestleMania. They've already got the match set and everything. Roman Reigns against The Rock. The Rock has already signed, inked his deal. He's wrestling Roman Reigns next year.
He'll literally show up on the screen a few times at a few events. He'll show up to the event on Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then he'll be at WrestleMania.
And then he'll stare at the WrestleMania sign. He'll point at it.
Yeah, he might do 2 weeks. He might do 2 weeks of Raw.
He'll probably do because their WrestleMania season starts mid-January. That's kind of sort of when they start doing storylines for WrestleMania. He'll probably show up on a Raw or like the Royal Rumble, and then he'll show up maybe a month or so out. He'll show up on the Raw before, and then the WrestleMania, and then like that's it. You'll get 3 appearances out of him.
And then he's gonna like they bring back these people just to lose. Like they're
there's a reason for that.
Again.
There's a reason for that. I mean, Roman Reigns has been champion. He's beaten everybody. There's nobody left for him to beat. So you put him against The Rock. The whole goal of wrestling is to put the younger talent over. Like The Rock. What's more realistic? Roman Reigns, who wrestles every week, beating somebody that hasn't wrestled in 6 years, or someone that hasn't wrestled in 6 years, come back and beat the world champion. Wrestling's already fake, but what one's more realistic to happen?
Exactly. But I'm saying though, they do this to like they bring back these legends just for them to lose. Like
now, Edge is the
bring back the legends.
That's played
to
out.
Make the current people look better. You bring back the legends to make the current people look better. The legends have already established themselves in history. They'll go down in history as Hall of Famers already. They don't need to do anything else. So you just bring them back to make the other people look good.
And I heard 2 things. I'm sorry. That Fox was extremely mad that the WWE didn't even contact CM Punk about, hey, if you're interested in returning back to wrestling, this is the money we could offer you. Now, they could have offered, I don't know how much AEW signed him for, but WWE could have quadrupled that amount, but they didn't even try to do it. So WWE's version of we're not going to give you CM Punk, literally the last minute made a phone call. And literally as the pay-per-view SummerSlam started, Brock Lesnar was landing in Las Vegas, drove to the arena, and Vince said, go, and rushed him to the ring. That literally happened. That happened.
I got to tell y'all, there's a lot of storylines out there, and I feel like we could do a whole show on WWE one day just because there's a lot of drama, especially of how like Triple H runs things behind the show now too.
It's a lot better when he runs them.
Yeah, and I got to tell y'all, we've reached the end of our first parter here. So if you've made it this far, we hope you really enjoyed this conversation between Spider-Man and some modern era wrestling. And I got to tell y'all, happy thoughts is what I'm sending you for the rest of this week. Hope you come back for this second part. And anybody else want to send some thoughts?
Yeah.
Hey.
Stop watching WWE.
There you go.
No, not really.
Hey, don't be bitter. Be better. That's what I send to everybody out there. There's a lot of bitter people out there. Don't be bitter.
All right. I mean,
comeback is always greater than the setback.
Ooh, you're out here spitting.
I just want to thank.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
All right. I
just want to thank everybody for listening. Shut up. I just want to thank everybody for listening to the show, listening, watching, however you guys consume this. Thank you guys. You made it this far. You guys are awesome. Love you all. And yeah, I mean, are we doing like a regular sign off for this week?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll tell y'all what it is. Arthur can give our Twitter handle for the show real quick, and then you guys can catch us next week for the tune in of us talking about the beginning of football season and fantasy, as well as playing our favorite game, Psych.
All right.
That's gonna be a long episode.
You can find us on Twitter at unheard_of_pod. It's gonna be the same on Instagram, Facebook. Search us up. We're on there, Unheard Of. You know what it is. We got our regular page. We got the fan page. Shout out to Drew Nasty. Talk to Drew on the fan page, y'all. He's alone. He's our biggest fan. He wants to talk to people about his favorite podcast. But yeah, YouTube, we got links. We are just about everywhere you can consume a podcast. So yeah.
True.
Honest,
And,
we're here.
Yeah, we hope you tune in. I hope you enjoyed the first part of this special event two-parter. Join us again next week. And as always, we love you, we hear you, and we hope you hear us. Hear it unheard of.
And as always, I'm Arthur.
And I'm Jared. And you just listened to
Unheard of.
That is loud.